Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke and today we're going to be talking about Manchester United versus Everton. This is the final pre-season friendly until the Premier League starts. Oof, I actually can't wait for the Premier League to start now. This is going to be a smashing season. Well, it is going to be for the rest of the teams. The top four is literally just going to be Man U, Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool. That's my prediction anyway. I hate to say Liverpool, but that's just how it is. I mean, Liverpool, most of their players are now back into full fitness. So unless Jordan Pickford's got a hankering for Van Dijk's leg again, I can see them getting a solid top four finish. Now for position 5 through 10, that's going to be anyone's game. That could be West Ham's game, Tottenham's game, Everton's game, Leicester's game, Arsenal's game, maybe. Maybe if they have a good season, maybe. But I haven't got high hopes for Arsenal. I think they're going to end up being mid-table this season. Everton, on the other hand, with Benitez at the helm, having Damari Gray, having Andros Townsend, having Gbamin fit, hopefully if we're able to keep hold of the players we've got for the rest of the transfer window, I think we've got high hopes for this. And Benitez is a very smart man. He'll know how to utilise the players that we've got. And it's not going to be like Carlo Ancelotti, whereas, near the end of the season, he's already thinking about where he's going to go on holiday. He's going to stick this one out through and through just because he is a well and true dedicated coach. And as much as it pains me to say that in regards, he did a really good job with Liverpool. He managed to get them a Champions League title. He got them close to the Premier League title. And I believe he got them a UEFA Cup title and a couple of FA Cups. I can't tell you off the top of my head. I don't know their story. But I digress, I'm going off topic. Right, back to it. So, how is Everton going to be able to beat Manchester United? It's actually going to be very tough. Because even though they're not going to have their two brand new signings starting, they're still going to have a really strong team. A really, really strong team. They've still got David De Gea in a goal. In regards to centre-backs, they are a little bit lacking at the moment. But they have got Harry Maguire back in the lineup. So chances are he may start, and one of our biggest Achilles heels in the form of Bruno Fernandes, he is fit and ready to go. So he is most likely going to start. He is the one player I really, really do not like seeing in the starting lineup for Man United because he just gives us the biggest amount of trouble possible. Regardless of when we play or where we play, he seems to be the one who is unravelling anything that Everton put together. But only time will tell. How I feel Everton should start would be a nice little steady 4-2-3-1. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. What I would do would be, obviously, Pickford's in goal. Want to get him back in, get him back into the rhythm of things. On the left, Luka Dean. In the middle, I'd like to do Ben Godfrey and Yerry Mina. Now, that could change up during the game. Maybe swap out Mina for Keane or swap Godfrey for Keane, see whoever's the most unstable in that back line and who you feel are making the most mistakes, we're going to swap out and put Keane in. Now, granted, Keane, he is a bit to and fro, but normally when you put him on, he does a good job. And on the right, I would like to start Joe Kenny. I want to see him play a little bit more for our squad. Now, I know a lot of people haven't got very much in terms of hope for him, but I really want to give him a chance with this squad. Because we're going to have a little bit more of a change up and there's going to be more people around to, switch things up a little bit for us. So, that's the back line. So that's going to be Luka Dean, Godfrey, Mina, Joe Kenny. In the central defensive role, I would like to do Alan and Jean-Philippe Gbamin. So those two essential, defensive midfielders, they are both very solid players. Gbamin has got a brilliant eye bringing it forward, so having him sitting behind there and being able to collect when Man United are attacking, that's going to be brilliant because you're going to have the bruiser of Alan and the finesse of Gbamin to bring it upfield. And for the attacking midfield three, I would have Gray on the left, Townsend on the right, Rodriguez in the middle. We could have used Decore if Rodriguez isn't fit or is, not in that sort of mindset to start. So if Benitez feels like he doesn't want to start, I would probably be putting Decore in his place. And then, you've got Gray and Townsend, they're going to act as the width for that. And you're going to have Rodriguez or Decore in that middle in the attacking point. So he's going to be able to receive it from our defensive midfielders in the form of Alan or Gabaman. And then from there, it's going to feed up to Calvert-Lewin. Now, how I would do this, I would be having Gabaman or Alan bring it up to Decore, having it go left or right wide for Damari Gray or Andros Townsend. And then from there, it would be a cross into the box for Calvert-Lewin or someone of a taller stature inside that box to clean up and nod in. This is how I would do it personally myself if I was a coach, but sadly I don't have my UEFA badges. I don't have any form of coaching badges, so how is my word anything? Now, this is just from what I've seen in previous games, how Damari Gray plays. He can play all the way through that entire midfield line, so in that regard, he could bring himself inside, so when he gets the ball from the outside, he could bring it in and then have a shot. Likewise with Townsend, if he goes wide, brings it in, he can have a crack. And Decore, obviously, he has a really good foot, so in the situation where we're able to break that back line a little bit, he could go forwards instead of passing it on and have a crack himself. So we've got multiple angles of attack in that regard. And obviously we've got Calvert-Lewin, who is Calvert-Lewin, and he is awesome. But yeah, on the bench, you're going to have a variety of players. Chances are we're going to have, like what we had last time, you know, when we do with any of our other pre-season friendlies, it's going to be an absolutely massive bench of 10 to 12 plus players. So come half time, we may do like a 5, 6 or 7 man swap all the way through. And Man United might do the same. There is a bit of a whisper going around that the 2 new signings, I believe they haven't been doing training yet, so they haven't started their training, but they may start on the bench. So they may go into this game completely green to this entire thing. So fingers crossed, if that is the case, this may put them out of their element a little bit. And when they go in, they may be deer in the headlights against us. I'm absolutely praying that this might be the case. It sounds terrible from an actual player perspective, but from an Everton's perspective, we may be able to put the fear of God in them starting out. Although Varane, he's an absolutely solid centre-back, and he's very, very, very talented. So on the defensive line, if he comes out, this might actually undo the midfield aspect of us, because I've watched some of his performances. He is very quick with his feet, he's very agile. Only thing is as well is he's very light. So anyone who puts a challenge in, it is more than likely he is going to go down. In terms of Jadon Sancho, he's the hot new thing since hot cross buns. I couldn't think of any other analogy, I'm sorry. But he is a very, very skilled young player. He has been highly praised when he did all his work with Borussia Dortmund. I've seen some of his footage. Again, he is very tricky, he is very intelligent when it comes to football. And with his youth, he is going to be extremely fast. So with someone like him, we need to go and dedicate a player. So we need to dedicate a rough player, so it could be Alan or Godfrey, and just tell them, look, if they are in the second half of our field, if they're anywhere near our 18-yard box, you mark him out the game as much as possible. If he goes to that ball, you body block him and you just keep him out of that game full stop. Do not even get him looking at the ball. Just have him so busy on trying to lose you that he cannot focus on that ball. So that could work. I mean, if he's got the intelligence to deal with that sort of play. I mean, granted, that is a German tactic. So if that might not work, but I'm more than happy to see that happen. So if we are willing to lose, say, Ben Godfrey or Yerry Mina by having them just putting him out the game fully, that would work in my opinion. But yeah, guys, I'm just going a little bit all over with this. So yeah, it's the final pre-match of the season. I don't know why I said season, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's the final pre-match before the season kicks off. And then we're going to be going to Southampton. So chances are Benitez might go into this and think, you know what, I'm going to give the youngsters a run. Going to let the lads who we wouldn't really start have a run. Let's see who shines out in that regard and who we have as extra options once the season really kicks off. Or you might go into this and think, right, let's consider this a Premier League game. Let's think of this as the earliest Premier League game. Go out there and absolutely do everything we can to bludgeon Man United. But yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up down below. If you want to suggest anything to the channel, so if you want me to try a different method of approaching these, put it in the comment section below. I always love hearing from you guys, and I always love the compliments down there. Also, if you are new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button down below? We will be kicking off the new Premier League season soon, so you'll be seeing these a lot more often. So you're going to be seeing pre-match, post-match, and little bits in between. And we also talk about the occasional news. So in like let's say for argument's sake, James Rodriguez. We've just had news that apparently AC Milan have backed away. So anything like that becomes a little bit of a topic on the channel. This may change from time to time, just depending on how busy we are with the schedule. So let's say for argument's sake, if we have 2 games coming up, so if we have a Premier League game and then a cup game a couple of days later, we may cut out that little piece in the middle, but it just depends on the occasion. But yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. Oh, before I go, I would like to mention we do have a Patreon as well. So if you are a subscriber to the channel and you really love the content and you want to show me some more support, we have got a Patreon there. If you would like, there is 2 types of Patreon tiers. The first one is called the Cup of Coffee tier. So that's pretty much just £1 a month. And that is like the very, very base level. So that is literally just, you really like what I put out, you really appreciate what I put out, and you just want to give me £1 to say, look, I really appreciate what you do. Here's a quiz, go get yourself a cup of coffee, you've earned it. And I really appreciate people who do that, I honestly do. There is also the £3 tier, which as you can see, we have had our first Patreon who actually donated that. So I'd like to say a very big thank you to, I'm gonna have to pull them up on my Patreon now. Sorry about this. I am really bad at doing these, I am really bad, I'm so sorry about this. So our first Patreon was, it decides to show up. It's always nice when it does that. So it is CT Baz. So CT Baz, if you're watching this video right now, congratulations, you are the very first patron to this channel. And that's all I can really say. It's thank you so much for being a Patreon and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. I am a little bit lost for words at the moment just because it's still not really setting in that the Patreon is actually up and running and everything is starting to go into motion. So if you want to be like CT Baz and be an absolute legend, go into the Patreon. It is only £3 a month, and that £3 gets you these sorts of videos, but they are not on the YouTube channel, they're on my Patreon channel. I will still get the views on YouTube if you watch them on the Patreon, but you don't have to go through any of the ads that YouTube have put out there, because I have got no control over ads that go onto the channel, just because that's all down to YouTube. Because I'm not an affiliate, I've not got any ability to basically say no ads, no ads, no ads. So anything that goes up on this channel at this point in time, YouTube are going to go, okay, I think this one can do with a few ads right there, little ad there, little ad there. It's a bit like that. It's a bit weird in that regard. But yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I'm going to see you all in the next video. Take care and peace.